Before we go any further, I want to say something. I appreciate that you brought me to see my sister, and that you were there to talk me down after we left. You're a true friend. I just wanted to tell you that. Well, now that's... Ask away. Of course. You never asked? All right. If you want the full explanation, I'll give it to you. The thing is, I'm used to not telling anyone who didn't already know. It was always a secret. Even Duncan was the only Grey Warden who knew. And then after the battle, when I should have told you, I don't know, it seemed like it was too late by then. How do you just tell someone that? Yes, well, I suppose part of me kind of liked you not knowing. They treat me differently. I become the bastard prince to them, instead of just Alistair. I know that must sound stupid to you, but I hate that it shaped my entire life. I never wanted it, and I certainly don't want to be king. The very idea of it terrifies me. You can say that again. I don't think I've ever had a choice in the matter. Right from when I was born, all my choices have been made for me. And now Arleman plans to put me forward as the heir. It never ends, does it? And for what it's worth, I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. It was a dumb thing to do. I guess it's kind of a relief that you know now. Let's go. Ask away. Of course.
Indeed.
Yes.
When you're ready, we shall leave for Denerim. Excellent. I shall make the arrangements. Let us... Denerim is the heart and soul of Ferelden. It was the city of King Calenhad, the birthplace of Andraste. As stubborn as a Mabari, and as good to have on your side. If we defeat Loghain here, the rest of the nation will follow us. By calling the Landsmeet, I've struck the first blow. The advantage, for the moment, is ours. He will have little choice but to show himself, to oppose us directly. He will strike back at us. The only question that remains is how soon. Loghain, this is an honor that the Regent would find time to greet me personally.
How could I not welcome a man so important as to call every lord in Ferelden away from his estates, while a blight claws at our land?
The blight is why I'm here. With Cailan dead, Ferelden must have a king to lead it against the Darkspawn.
Ferelden has a strong leader. Its queen. And I lead her armies. And who is this, Eamon? Some new stray you picked up on the road? And here I thought it was only royal bastards you played the nursemaid to. You should curb your tongue. This is my city, and no safe place to speak treason. For anyone. There is talk that your illness left you feeble, Eamon. Some worry that you may no longer be fit to advise Ferelden.
Illness? Why not call your poison by its true name? Not everyone at the Landsmeet will cast aside their loyalties as easily as you and these sycophants.
How long you've been gone from court, Eamon? Don't you recognize Rendon Howe, Arl of Amaranthine, and Terran of Highever?
and current Jarl of Denerim, since Urien's unfortunate fate at Ostagar. The Regent has been generous to those who prove loyal.
Don't interrupt, Churl. Your betters are talking.
Enough, Calthrian. This is not the time or place. I had hoped to talk you down from this rash course, Eamon. Our people are frightened. Our king is dead. Our land is under siege. We must be united now if we are to endure this crisis. Your own sister, Queen Rowan, fought tirelessly to see Ferelden restored. Would you see her work destroyed? You divide our nation and weaken our efforts against the Blight, with your selfish ambitions to the throne. I was not talking to you.
I cannot forgive what you've done, Loghain. Perhaps the Maker can, but not I. Our people deserve a king of the Theron bloodline. Alistair will be the one to lead us to victory in this Blight.
The Emperor of Orlais also thought I could not bring him down. Expect no more mercy than I showed him. There is nothing I would not do for my homeland.
Well, that was bracing. I didn't expect Loghain to show himself quite so soon. Calling the Landsmeet is only the start. Now we must ensure that every noble there sees Loghain's duplicity. We have no small task ahead of us. We need eyes and ears in the city. Loghain has been here for months. The roots of all his schemes must begin here. The sooner we find them, the better we can turn them to our advantage. Go have a look around and see what you can turn up. Better yet, find the nobles who have arrived for the Landsmeet. When you're ready to talk strategy, come upstairs to my sitting room.
His lordship sends no notice he's coming, and now the house is full of guests. Undressly preserved, this will be the death of me.
Everything in here appears to be breakable. It seems most impractical.
You know, I could get to like this. The last time I came to Denerim, I stayed at an inn so filthy the bedbugs had fleas. What say you? By all means. I know little enough of the Dalish other than the fact that my mother was one. She had fallen in love with an elven woodcutter and accompanied him back to the city, leaving her clan behind for good. And there, of course, the woodcutter died of some filthy disease and my mother was forced into prostitution to pay off his debts. Oldest tale in the book. Is it? It seemed normal enough a tale growing up. No different than the other elven boys in the whorehouse. I didn't know my mother either, of course. She died giving birth to me. My first victim, as it were. We were all raised communally by the whores. It was a happy enough existence, ignoring the occasional beating. Until eventually I was sold to the crows. I brought a good price, so I hear. That's very kind of you to say, but it is not necessary. It could have been much worse. Shall I tell you about what happened to the other whorehouse boys who did not fetch a decent price with the crows? Surely your life has not been so idyllic. People like you and I are not the product of happy lives of contentment, after all. My original point is that my mother's Dalish nature was always through all the years of my crow training, the one thing of my mother's that I possessed was a pair of gloves. They were of Dalish make, I knew that much, and beauty. I had to keep them hidden, of course, as we were not allowed such things. Eventually, they were discovered, and I never saw them again. I don't feel anything about them. Oh, we heard about them in the city, even deep in Antiva. I even had the notion once to run off and join them. Naturally, the reality did not live up at all to the fantasies I had constructed as a boy, staring at those gloves. But such is life. Come.
This is a nice change from having to sleep in the woods, isn't it? Something I can help with? Denerim is Ferelden's most important city, yes? This is the seat of power. She is Ferelden's heart. Her walls are strong, but within them lies so much beauty, just like the country and the people.
I hope all the accommodations are to your liking, Warden. Please let me know if anything is troubling you.
This is a nice estate, isn't it? What's on your mind? Cure me? What, am I sick now? Even you know that you cannot cure the dead. And I'm not the only one dying. You are too. Ah, child, your concern is heartwarming. But death comes to everyone, and it is not something to fear. People fear not death, but having life taken from them. Many waste the life given to them, occupying themselves with things that do not matter. When the end comes, they say they did not have time enough to spend with loved ones, to fulfill dreams, But why should you fear death if you are happy with the life you have led? If you can look back on everything and say, yes, I think I've led a good life, a full life, and I, for one, am not afraid of death. They say that when you die, your spirit travels through the fade and returns to the Maker. This is a night. What's on your mind? I try not to dwell too much on the mistakes of my past, but I do have one regret. The greatest misstep of my life, made even more grave. Years ago, I was assigned as mentor to a lad, Aneurin. He was my first apprentice. Aneurin was an elf, raised in one of the elven alienages, and he was very mistrustful of humans, especially humans in authority. All he knew of the humans was what he had seen in the alienage. He was very wary of us. What Aneurin needed was time. Time to get used to his new home, time to emerge from his shell, so we could build a rapport. I gave him no such time. I was young and arrogant. He is a mage, I thought. He needs to grow up and act like one. I expected too much from him too quickly. I gave no consideration to his origin or his feelings, and he retreated further from me. All I could think of was how stubborn he was, how he was throwing away all his talent and his potential just to be difficult. Oh, age and wisdom have mellowed me. I was quite different back then. You cannot plant crops in the cold, wintry ground. You cannot teach a student who is closed off and unresponsive. Patience is what is needed, and I learned that too late to help him. Aneurin ran away from the circle one night. I had berated him over some trivial, ridiculous matter that I no longer remember. He was a child, 14 at the time of his leaving. They had his phylactery, and they hunted him down. They called him Maleficar, a mage who practices forbidden magic. I begged the Templars to tell me if he suffered, if they gave him a quick death. I got no answers from them. I was his mentor, and they would. I should have known better. I had the best mentors. I failed Aneurin. All I had to do was listen to him. He would try to talk to me, and I would tell him to concentrate on his spells. He talked about the alienage sometimes, and the Dalish. He always talked about looking for the Dalish elves. The apprentices that came after Aneurin benefited greatly from the lessons I learned from him. In a sense, he was my teacher, and I his student. And there it is, my story. This is a night. What's on your mind? It is no.
I got a moment. Sure.
What about?
All right.
Indeed.
Yes.
Think of it, Zevran. You may have stumbled into a most delightful possibility for your future.
Oh, are you dispensing professional advice now?
It simply occurs to me that if, say, Alistair were to become King of Ferelden, he may have need of someone of your talents.
From what I know of the fellow, it seems there would be a fair difference between what he needed and what he cared to make use of.
If Alistair becomes king, it would certainly not be through any brilliance on his part. Whoever puts him there, now there's the one who will need you.
Now that's an interesting thought. You've such a devious mind, my dear. Why have we not made love as of yet?
For what purpose? I would sooner stab you in the face than let you touch me, elf.
And somehow that makes the idea even more intriguing.
We will need to fight shortly.
Oh, this should be good.
Yes.
I understand we will be joining you in battle as soon as the hunters have recovered. I look
You did it, outsider. You saved us from the ravages of the curse after all.
May the creators bless you, truly.
But Zathrian is lost to us, after all these centuries. He died heroically, I hope. I would like a happy ending to his tale. He will be a role model. Now, Keeper Lanaya prepares for us to enter into war alongside the humans.
I, for one, look forward to fighting against these darkspawn creatures.
Do you now? Let's hope you return and tell us all about them. As for you, outsider, I expect I'll be telling tales about the Grey Warden one day, hmm? Andera Natishan, Grey Warden. Join us at the fire if you like, but Dareth...
Blast and damnation!
Yes.
Andera Natishan, Grey Warden. Join us at the fire if you like, but haven't you got a war to get to?
I appreciate you trying to find him, but what are the chances?
Anaren the healer?
You know Anaren?
He lives? No, it can't be him. Perhaps it is a common elven name.
No, I know of only one Anaren.
Ah, it makes sense. Anaren said that he was from the human cities. You are old friends, then?
If you seek Anaren, you must venture into the forest. He prefers to be amidst the trees and the animals.
Thank you all so much.
Dareth Shirral.
I have been charged by the Keeper to seek out other Dalish clans in Ferelden, so we may spread the word about the Blight. Dareth Shirral.
Friends, turn back, please. These woods are a danger to those who do not know the paths.
Aneurin?
Wait, I remember your face. But younger, more impulsive, stern. Wynne?
I thought they had killed you.
They very nearly did. The Templars found me while I was searching for the Dalish. They ran me through and left me for dead.
I brought this on you. Oh, I was a dreadful mentor, harsh and impatient. I am sorry for the way I treated you.
I've put that behind me, and you should too. I didn't fit in with the Templars in your chantry. My path lay elsewhere.
Irving is a reasonable man. He will find some way for you to return. The Circle needs new blood. It needs to change.
I have fond memories of Irving. He was always kind to me. I will consider your proposal, and perhaps I will speak with Irving. However, I promise nothing. Perhaps the mage you seek is right in front of you. The Grey Warden is a mage, no? The Blight will not last forever. Why not look to him to shape the new Circle? It is something both of you should think about.
No, we've spent enough time on my personal affairs. It is time for us to move on.
Look at this. It's the hardened sap of a tree native to this forest. It's been something of a lucky charm for me, and now I want you to have it.
Very well. I'm grateful.
And on you.
Have you given any thought to what Aneurin said? There is wisdom in his words. You are a mage, and you could be what the Circle needs most. That's the point. It doesn't have to be. If you went back and assumed a position of power, you could change it for the better. Your life as a Grey Warden has given you a chance to venture abroad. You've seen the world, dealt with kings and lords, Templars, and you could bring these experiences back to the Circle, improve it with what you know. It will take time, but it can be done. Slowly. I will not live to see the Circle rebuilt and made stronger and more glorious. It doesn't have to be a dream for you.
That smell. I don't know how you found it, but thank you. But I'm not finished admiring them yet. Can you smell that? Like rotting flesh. Just like back in Antiva City. Now, if only you could find me a prostitute or two. A bowl of fish chowder and a corrupt politician. I'd really feel like I was home. And the feet as well. Marvelous. Gloves? You're giving me gloves? What for? Maker's breath. You're right. It is like my mother's. The leather was less thick and it had more embroidery, but these are very close and quite handsome. Still, I appreciate the fact that you even thought of me. No one has simply... What say you?
Indeed.
Blood and damnation.
Yes.
Magic exists to serve man and never to rule over.
Dwarven craft. Fine dwarven craft.
The alienage is closed.
It is done.
And so here is the mighty Grey Warden at long last. The crows send their greetings once again.
So they sent you, Taliesin. Or did you volunteer for the job?
I volunteered, of course. When I heard that the great Zevran had gone rogue, I simply had to see it for myself.
Is that so? Well, here I am, in the flesh.
You can return with me, Zevran. I know why you did this, and I don't blame you. It's not too late. Come back and we'll make up a story. Anyone can make a mistake. Oh? Does Zevran need to live?
I suspect I will manage just fine, Taliesin. I'm sorry, my old friend, but the answer is no. I'm not coming back. And you should have stayed in Antiva.
Danger approaching.
Watch out, trap
To be clear. As you say.
Well, that was a beautiful attempt at a robbery. Why don't you keep the house and keep the weeds, huh?
Very well.
You never goes before me!
I think that's all of them, yes? On it. As you like. And there it is. Taliesin is dead. And I am free of the crows. They will assume that I am dead along with Taliesin. So long as I do not make my presence known to them, they will not seek me out. I do not know. It seems I have options now, whereas once I had none. I have enjoyed our company, but I am wondering if it is not time for me to leave. There is a freedom awaiting me that I have never known. But I suppose the decision is yours. Will you let me go? All right. You make a convincing argument. You do seem to stumble onto treasure on a regular basis somehow. Let us return to the task at hand, then. All complete.
Welcome back. What can I get for you, honey? Come again.
Grey Warden, isn't it? Strange you would force such a visit in a time of blight. I suppose I am used to inspiring a different kind of seeker. Inevitably. If drive and foolishness mark a seeker adequate for my purposes. But then there's you. Eyes are on you from a very high vantage, Grey Warden. I cannot hide in your wake, but I will not be a footnote. Witness Gax King!
It will be done.
You like that?
men are the work of our Maker's hand. From the road in town, without provocation to the least of his children, are bred and cursed.
Dwarven craft. Fine dwarven craft.
You're being very foolish. Why would Loghain leave half our own army to die when a
I have
blight
no
threatens?
time to deal with something.
I take him at his word. The battle... You're being very foolish. Why would Loghain leave half our own army to die when a blight threatens? I take him at his word. The battle could not be won.
Even you must admit there's a suspicious rash of mortality among the advisors to the crown. Bryce, Urien, Eamon.
Eamon's not dead. More's the pity.
Good job clearing those louts out.
What do you suppose Eamon is playing at? Surely he doesn't expect us to believe Enora unfit to rule, with her father to advise her.
You'll have to excuse me. I'm engaged at present.
I'm sorry. I'm busy at the moment. What do you suppose Eamon is playing at? Surely he doesn't expect us to believe Enora.
Wonderful. Another one. I suppose you're here to ask... Boy, take your petition to the Darkspawn if it's so important to you. They hold my Arling now. I hear they're charitable folk. Shouldn't you be dead, then? How quick did you cut leash and run at Ostagar? No matter. I've nothing left for you to take, Grey Warden. Not even my sons. You're wasting your time here. What do you think happened? Did the Blight escape your notice? War claims the young and strong first, and plagued... There's no point talking about it. There's nothing more to say. Pester someone else.
You're being very foolish. Why would Loghain...
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven craft. Rex from Orson.
So many visitors. The Queen. If they keep tracking mud up here, it's fun.
You know, I could get to like this. Your wish? Whatever you'd like to ask. You know, your wish? Whatever you'd like... Yes, I suppose it is time. There is a reason I accepted this mission in Ferelden, far away from home, and it had nothing to do with any thought that I might leave the Crows. Meeting you, after all, was quite an accident. My last mission before this one did not end well. You must realize that until that day I was cocky and arrogant. I was the best crow in Antiva, I believed, and I bragged of my conquests often, both as an assassin and lover. Indeed. I was often told I was insufferable, right before I ended up in bed with someone. Such is how it was. One of the Crow Masters grew tired of my boasting. My bid for an incredibly difficult mark was accepted, much to my surprise. A wealthy merchant with many guards and completely silent. Taliesin agreed to be part of my team, as well as an elven lass named Rena. She was a marvel. Tough, smooth, wicked. Eyes that gleamed like justice. Everything I thought I did. Rena was special. I had closed off my heart, I thought, but she touched something within me. It frightened me. When Taliesin revealed to me that Rina had accepted a bribe from the merchant, told him of our plan, I readily agreed that she needed to pay the price and allowed Taliesin to kill her. Rina begged me not to. On her knees, with tears in her eyes, she told me that she loved me and had not betrayed us. I laughed in her face and said that even if it were true, I didn't care. I convinced myself it was. Taliesin cut her throat, and I watched her bleed as she stared up at me. I spat on her for betraying the crows. When Taliesin and I finally assassinated the merchant, we found the true source of his information. Rina had not betrayed us, after all. I wanted to tell the crows what we had done, our mistake. Taliesin convinced me not to. He said it would be a foolish waste. So we reported that Rina had died in the attempt. We needn't have bothered. The crows knew what we had done. The master who disliked me told me so to my face. He said the crows knew, and they didn't care. And one day, my turn would come. To rub it in my face, perhaps. That I was nothing. That she was nothing. You once asked why I wanted to leave the crows. In truth, what I wanted was to die. What better way than to throw myself at one of the fabled Grey Wardens? And then, this happened. And here I am. It feels good to speak of it to someone. I swore I never would. Whatever it is I sought by leaving Antiva, I think I have found it. I owe you a great deal. Let us return to your mission, shall we? Suddenly, I do not feel like
Excuse me, I have to dust the Earl's sitting room. No, I'm from Redcliffe. Lady Isolde brought me here to be her chambermaid last spring. I beg your pardon, sir, but I really can't be seen standing about.
If one more servant asks if I would like a change of clothes, I will set the house on fire. What comes, my friend? So, full of questions.
This is not as defensible as I would like, but it will do. What is your wish, Kadan? I am hardly surprised. Very well. Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on, as you wish.
Ah, Warden. I trust you've made yourself comfortable. Good, because it's likely to be your last rest for a while. This is Elena. She's...
I am Queen Enora's handmaiden. She sent me here to ask for your help.
Or perhaps the young lady prefers to speak for herself.
The Queen, she is in a difficult position. She loved her husband, no? And trusted her father to protect him. When he returns with no king and only dark rumors, what is she to think? She worries, no? But when she tries to speak with him, he does not answer. He tells her not to trouble herself. So she goes to how? A visit from the Queen to the new Isle of Denrum is only a matter of courtesy, and she demands answers. He calls her every sort of name, traitor being the kindest, and locks her in a guest room. King Kellen was like a son to him, and Loghain left him to die. Does he love Enora more? Who can say? I think her life is in danger. I heard Howe say she would be a greater ally dead than alive, especially if her death could be blamed on Owl Eamon. Yes, that is what...
We may have no choice but to trust Honora. The Queen is well loved. If Loghain succeeded in pinning her death on me, I'm not sure that's a risk we can afford to take.
I have some uniforms. I'll hire so many new guards every day. A few more will not cause much stir. I will show you to the servants' entrance. I will go ahead to House Estate.
I haven't been here in a while. They've changed the dining.
Ask away.